Hi, Merch Money. We are live today with Amy Wees. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
And sorry, guys, for the random day. We're a little off schedule this month, but it's all good. And I'm so excited that Amy could join us today. Amy has been on the show a couple different times for talking about different topics, but today we wanted to talk about how to find interesting products to source, because she does private label and sells on Amazon and things like that. So I know that's a little different than print on demand, but we were talking behind the scenes, and I've talked to other people too, where one of the things we all learned from this coronavirus is how important it is to be diversified. So I started talking to her because she sent some people over to me to learn print on demand, and I've been hearing people that want to learn private label, and I think we all kind of just want to keep learning and trying out different things so that we can be as diversified as possible. So I felt like, even though it's not print on demand related, we'll still go ahead and do this show, because I know there's a lot of people in the audience that have a Seller Central account or have a Shopify store, and this is the kind of thing that could go hand in hand with print on demand. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, no, I love print on demand. I just published a couple of low content books on KDP last week, and my daughter, my 10-year-old, just published her second book. So the first one she did was just a regular children's story, and then the second one that she did was a chapter book. So Donna is saying I'm a bit blurry. Well,
yeah,
it could be her connection, because it's
no, I can't see you either. It is a little blurry, so I'm not sure.
Oh, really? It's like,
but it's okay.
On my side. Oh, that's really weird. Well, let me see here if I can play around with let's see. Maybe I can switch webcams. Can you guys see me now?
Or maybe just see if it's like a drop of water on it or something, because I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe it's just a little bit dirty or something. Yeah, let me try it out here. Is that better?
No, it's still a little blurry, but that's okay. Don't worry, we can see you fine. and most of it's going to be on the podcast anyway, so people just like to hear what we say.
Yeah, it's really weird, because I see myself like perfectly clear and I see you clearly. So it's weird that you see me blurry. Wow. Okay. Well, who knows,
Who knows?
Well, everyone, we're going to talk blurry today. It's okay.
We'll just roll with it. It is fine.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I can switch cameras too, if you guys want to try that. Let me see if I switch to my other camera. Can you see me now? Is that a little bit better?
It's the same.
Weird. That is so strange. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, we'll just continue. I'm going to give you guys value from my voice. How does that sound?
Perfect.
All right.
So,
yeah, so I mean, I love print on demand. I think it's amazing. I love doing, like, I made this t-shirt. It's based on one of my private label products. I got 99 problems, but clean litter ain't one. So, so I love print on demand. I love e-commerce, period.
Yeah.
There's so many cool things that we can do. There is just, there's a myriad of opportunities. So, I just want to tell people that, if you're interested in getting into private label, let me tell you what I love about private label.
Yeah.
So I've been doing Amazon and e-commerce since 2007. I've done everything from retail arbitrage. I did wholesale for a little while. I've worked in retail stores, so I've kind of been all over this industry, if you will. But the reason I love private label is, and I'm sure that if you guys have done retail arbitrage or something like that, you can kind of feel this. If you're selling somebody else's brand, you're putting a lot of work in. Especially if you're doing retail arbitrage, you're still packaging up that stuff, unless you're using a third-party prep center, which dips further into your margins, right?
Right.
You might put a product out there, and then you've got 10 other sellers on the listing.
Right.
You might take a time. What I used to do with wholesale, I used to get a bunch of different wholesale products and I would bundle them, or I would make multi-packs that nobody else had. And I would spend all this time taking photos and making the listing. And within a month, I'd have 10 other people on the listing. And it was just so frustrating. And I'm like, I just want to build something that's mine, that I don't have to deal with everybody else. I felt really innovative to find products that other people did not have, and to take the time to take photos and make a listing and everything, and then to lose all of that because someone else basically can just scrape and see new products that are coming up and just copy you. Well,
Yeah.
that was not appealing to me. So, I started my private label journey when I invented a product. And you don't have to invent a product. I mean, now, all these years later, I've helped. I mean, I can scroll through Amazon and I can, on nearly every page of just like every first page of every category, I see people that I've helped. And that is just
that's awesome.
it's such a cool, rewarding feeling. But it's really cool to be a small part of so many different brands. But it's so cool to do private label because it's yours, because you own it, because you can sell it, because you can replenish it easily. There is risk. There's risk with any business. You do have inventory, but 3C on the Road says, is it possible to have a private label biz on Amazon seller from a camper, or do you need a warehouse? Well, just like you can do retail arbitrage by using a 3PL or using a prep center, you can do private label the same way. So I have a warehouse, but I don't need one. I could send my products directly to Amazon, or I could send my products to a 3PL. So that's a really great question.
Yep. Yeah, Teresa, Printful has warehouses you can use, and lots of other companies too, but I know Printful from Print on Demand. So it really can work hand in hand where, if you have a business selling a certain kind of print on demand, you can add in some private label products as well.
Yeah, I mean, can we talk about that? So if you're already selling to a specific niche, you already have that knowledge of what they like. You know which of your shirts and your phone cases and your merch is selling well. And you know what designs are popular with people. Well, think about what else would complement that. So if you can think of, let's say, for example, and somebody's saying they're seeing me better now, but I have this print on demand mouse pad. I work hard so my cat can have nice things, right? But I'm in the cat business. I have a litter box cleaner on the market, and then I sell a bunch of other pet products. But I could easily get into kitchen products, and I could make them cat themed, right? Because I know cat people. I know people love their tuxedo cats. I know people love black cats. I know they love ragdoll cats. I could totally make ceramic dishes for the kitchen like tuxedo cats, and people would eat that up. I know that, and those would look great next to my pet products, right? People would be like, oh my gosh, these cat people understand me, right? So you can definitely pick products that will highlight the products that you already have in print on demand. And you don't always have to invent something. That's something a lot of people ask me. They're like, well, Amy, I don't want to invent a product. Well, that's fine. You don't have to always invent a product. Sometimes just applying your own unique design to a product can be enough to make it unique and in high demand.
Absolutely. Yeah, so tell us a little bit, just in case somebody doesn't know what private label is, just like a couple of sentences about what private label is.
Yeah, so let's talk. This is actually the first class in the mastermind group. We talk about the different business models. And it's so important because a lot of people think that they're private labeling and they're not. They're actually white labeling. So let's talk about the difference, okay? You have commodity products, and that's like, I'm selling these water bottles. I can get them. I don't need a brand name on them. You can get them from anywhere. I'm going to list them on Amazon. It could be generic, right? That's a commodity product, okay? Then we have white label. That's where I'm taking this water bottle here and I am putting my label on it. So, I have my Inspire Conference logo here. So
This is such a good example that you have right here.
But this is not private label, right? It's a white label because I'm taking an existing commodity product that is easy to get, and I don't own the design for this water bottle. I'm just ordering it from a factory that owns the design, right? And I'm applying my logo. Maybe I have some cool packaging too, but I'm branding this product, right? That's white label. And the thing that differentiates it from private label is that it's very easy for anyone else to get the same exact product and just put their logo on it. So now I could get stuck, and this is what so many people get stuck in. I could get stuck in a price war on Amazon where I just have to get as many reviews as I can, and I'm going to have to keep lowering my price because somebody else has this same water bottle that is easy to get, and their brand is, so you're competing on price and you're competing on reviews, and that is not a fun place to be because you got to try to stay on page one, right?
Yeah.
So let's
white label could be good if you had your own customers, right? Like if you had your own Shopify store and people were coming to your website anyway, they might grab something.
Yes, girl.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And even in our mastermind group, even though we're a private label group and we're teaching you how to develop products and do all of this, in the end of our business models class, we explain the risks and rewards of each type of product. And I say, hey, if you're making money with any of these products, I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
If you want to do a little bit of merch and you want to do a little bit of white label and then you want to develop a private label product, well, good. That's a very healthy portfolio,
Yeah.
Sounds good. So there's nothing wrong with white label, but it's good to be aware that if you're going to go somewhere, if you're going to put your white label products in a place where there's a lot of other competitors like Amazon or eBay versus your own maybe Shopify website where there's not a lot of other competitors and your customers are happy and they're coming to visit you, well, then white label could be really good for you. It's easy to source, it's easy to replenish, it's awesome, and you can serve up for your customers exactly what they want. So, that's awesome. I teach that too. I teach you how to source those products. I teach you how to, get them shipped in, all of that kind of stuff, right? Because those are all things we need to know. But anyway, then we get to private label, okay? So private label is when I'm differentiating this product in a way that I own that differentiation. So let's say that I was going to add a heater into the bottom of this water bottle, or a blender for, maybe I'm going to do a battery powered blender into this water bottle so that you can mix up your shaker mix, right? Or you can mix up your lemonade. That's private label. The reason it's private label is because it's a differentiation that I own. So I might still get this water bottle from the factory stock, but I am designing or differentiating with this blender piece that I've got to put in here, right? And that's going to require me to possibly get a mold made for that. It's going to require me to do some form of manufacturing outside of what the factory already has stock. And what's nice about that is that I can own that and protect that. And then what's also really nice about that is now I have a product that looks like the rest of these really popular water bottles, but suddenly I'm the hot seller because I have something all of them don't. And they can't just copy me because I own my supply chain and I own the mold to add that blender piece into this water bottle, right? So that's the difference in private label versus white label is you actually own the differentiation. If you're just changing the color of this, that's not private label. That's that you don't own this mold, right? So that's the difference between the two. And then you have unique, never seen before products. And that's when you're just like, you're completely inventing something from scratch. And that's what I did with my litter box cleaner. I invented something from scratch. I had to patent it and go through that whole process. So there's so many cool opportunities. And the goal of my course and my mastermind group is to remove the fear and the risk from developing your products, because a lot of people don't differentiate simply because they don't know how.
Yeah.
Right? They feel like, oh my gosh, that's going to cost me so much money and I'm not going to be able to do it. And the factory is going to steal my idea and I don't know what to do. So, my whole thing is I want to teach people to launch with confidence. I want them to, whatever they're doing in white label or private label, I want them to understand to how to remove the risk, how to know that people will actually buy this product that they're about to launch. So we go over how to do market research and competitive analysis and validation and the criteria of winning products and all of that. So we build up their confidence level so that they feel good about making that order. They feel good about, starting to develop that product. And then we actually teach product development. So, we have designers that come in and teach, and I want to help people bring really cool things to market.
Yeah. I think that reminds me of the last time you were on. I think it was when you were talking about the China trip. So guys, Amy goes to China with people and helps them source the products and helps them talk to the manufacturers and all that. I think it's so cool.
It is so much fun.
And you must have been so sad it got canceled this year. What a crazy year we've had.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know. Like, we still have it on the books for October, but I'm pretty sure we're not going. Like, it's looking like that, and we wouldn't want to go if anyone.
I remember on the show you talked about how there was this virus in China and you guys were keeping an eye on it, but it's probably fine. And at the time I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. We had no idea.
Yeah, but that's what I said on the show. I was like, but I don't know until somebody tells me different,
Oh yeah, I didn't mean it like that. I'm like, this thing is like, it became bigger than I thought it would.
Oh man, yeah, it was. I think it became bigger than any of us ever imagined it would become. So.
I just can't believe like schools and stuff this year might just not happen. Like I've never even heard of that. We got, I live in Northern Virginia, and one of the counties right next to our county announced what they're planning to do next year. So it's not my particular county, but the one right next to it, they are giving kids 2 options where they can either go completely online for the whole year, or they can come in twice a week and that's it. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this, like official. It's not going to be regular school.
We just did a survey for our kids too. And the schools were considering canceling that kind of stuff. So, it's crazy, but I mean,
what can you do?
Yeah, I think it's better to be safe than sorry. Yeah. I think it's good to take the necessary precautions. I was watching a special on Netflix. There's a special called Coronavirus Explained, and it has like 3 different, it's like a series of 3 shows. And it was so interesting because they really took the time to explain like the history of these different types of viruses and where they come from and why the social distancing and the mask stuff and all of this. And it was really, really helpful and informative. And I didn't feel like it was like, it wasn't like one-sided. It wasn't like, oh, the politicians are wrong. Or it was just like, this is what science says about these viruses. This is how it's passed between animals and stuff like that. And it was really fascinating. And it was like kind of calming too, to understand like, oh, okay, I get it. I get it. It's, it's not like we're all going to die. It's not the end of the world, but we do need to take precautions. And that's why this virus is a little more dangerous than some of the other ones that we've had in the past. And that was really helpful to watch. So you guys want to check it out. Yeah. Wow. So I see we've got Dwayne here, and Dwayne, man, he's in our mastermind group, and he's loving the product development stuff, and he's totally nerding out over it. And I'm having so much fun, like hearing from him. He went to Canton Fair this week. So Canton Fair was actually virtual. It's virtual right now, so you can attend. I think it might still be on today. You can go to their Canton Fair website and you can watch these live streams of all these suppliers and stuff. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, checking that out and getting a little bit nerdy about product development. We've been prototyping, and the people in the group are coming up with some really cool products. So I can't wait for some of these to be brought to market. I mean, like really good ideas. Like, wow, okay, that's going to be a hit. So
amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So any of you who are feeling like, you might want to dabble in private label, and you might want to learn more about the different things that you can do in private label, and the different options, you can go any end of the spectrum, whether it's sourcing. We talk about just sourcing test products, like small amounts, just to dabble in a little bit, all the way to like, I'm going to develop a fully unique product and bring that to market. And how do I gain the courage to do that? So it's like, it's all about building up people's confidence, because that's the scariest part, right? Is, okay, this is new. Just like when you're just getting involved in print on demand, not as much risk, right? Because you're just creating a design, but at the same time, you want to kind of learn, because you don't want to spend a bunch of money on ads or something like that, and then it not come to fruition. So we kind of just focus on those building blocks of helping you understand how to run your numbers, understand the different types of business models, understand how to come up with good product ideas, how to do your market research, competitive analysis, how to validate your products. And then we go all the way into how to source those products, how to talk to suppliers, how to negotiate, just whatever is required to get from concept all the way to launch is what we work on.
Amazing. And Dwayne, I'm so excited that you are in that group. Awesome. I know Dwayne has all kinds of, he did the dinosaur calendar with the print on demand, and then now he wants to, I think, make toys or something to go along with it. Dinosaurs, something. So cool.
Yeah, so 3C on the road says, I have tons of ideas, but a lack of funds. Yeah, so the big thing about private label that a lot of people don't realize is it's just retail. That's what it is. It's retail, right? So you can think of it as like you're starting your own store, basically. You know, you're putting your own products. If you thought about, like, I'm going to open my own boutique down the street, right? And I'm going to put my own unique products in it. It's going to be a little while before you're able to take money out of that boutique, right? Because you had to pay to get your website set up, and you had to pay to get your, to get your inventory, and you had to pay to have your initial staff and all those things. So that's the big myth about Amazon private label is people kind of, a lot of the gurus out there sell this like, well, you're going to be a millionaire on the beach tomorrow. So you just need a laptop and you're going to make some passive income. And it's like, okay, let's get real here. So realistically, I'm glad that you brought that up. It is really good to start small. You can start small. You can start with white label products. Let me give you some tips on how you could do that. So for example, you can go to Alibaba.com, right? And there's this really cool filter called Ready to Ship, okay? There's a really cool filter called Ready to Ship. So you can, and if you wanted, Helen, I could actually share my screen and show you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do some sourcing small. It might be fun. All right. So yeah, Andy, my podcast partner, Andy, and I, we have this little class called Sourcing Small. It's only $96. We basically take you on the whole journey of sourcing some things small. So, so somebody give me a category. Let's do a category here, and I'm going to share my screen. And can you guys, let's see here. Let me make sure I'm on the right screen here. Can you guys see that?
Here, let me add it. There you go. Now they should be able to see it. Okay,
cool. So somebody give me a category. What kind of category should we look at? We could do like, something in pets. We could do something in, okay, Alibaba, you can show me notifications. But let's just do something like simple and silly. Like let's do office organizer. Let's do that, right? Office organizer wood. That sounds interesting. Might be cool to do something other than black, right? So we have some rose gold, right? But the cool thing is we can look through here and we can see all these interesting, look at this one, cork. That's cool looking, right? So we might find some really cool things. And then the other cool thing that you can do is you can think of other uses for these products. So like this one, for example, with the Kleenex holder and everything, that might be good for a kid's locker. You never know. You might be able to use this for something else other than what it is right there, right? Maybe it's a good coffee table organizer, right? So you can look for these different things, but right up here, you can click this button here that says Ready to Ship, okay? And so you can see I can order just one piece of this. I can order 14 sets. 5 pieces of this one. This one's kind of cool. It looks like fully collapsible, right? But I can find, if I click Ready to Ship, I can find things that the supplier has in stock that are ready to go. And so this one's kind of cool for like a kid's desk, or you could even sell it as like an arts and crafts organizer, right? So depending on your niche, you can find really cool things. But all you're going to do is you are going to find something that sticks out to you, and you're going to go, okay, I got it. I like it. Obviously you're not going to make the decision yet. You're going to do a little bit more validation. Maybe you'll go to Amazon. Let's say I'm going to sell this as a kids arts and crafts organizer, because it has the little drawers and everything. Well, then I'm going to go to Amazon and I'm just going to double check. I'm going to make sure that, first of all, I'm going to make sure that kids, crafts, organizers, and storage. There we go. I'm going to search for that, and I'm going to see if there's anything on the page that looks anything like, that little desk organizer set that I found. And I'm going to see also, I've got DS Amazon Quick View, this little Chrome extension here. It has a little fist, right? It shows me the ranks right on the page. So I can see what's selling really well. And look at this one. This plastic portable one is selling quite well. 10,000 in arts and crafts. That's pretty cool. This one with the rainbow, 11,000. So we can see the wooden ones are doing quite well. This one, look at that. It's being sold as a kid's art supplies, but it is 3,900 in office products. So there's definitely some potential for this cool little, this organizer that we found, right? And I can buy it for $2.95 up to $4.20 for 10 pieces. Now here's what I have to show you guys, okay? What you can see, look at that. It ships completely flat. That's so cool. It looks like fun to put together. But you can see we can order just 10 pieces. If I order 200 pieces, it's $3.75, right? So to ship these for 10 pieces, if I order 10 of them, to ship it to the US through Express DHL, so it would be lead time of 7 days and shipping time of 7 to 15 days, it would cost me $168.70. So I can up this, right? And you can see the shipping continues to go up. But what you guys can do, let's say I want 30 of these, right? Or let's say I'm going to source 50 of them. And I want this at $4.20 each. I'm just going to test the market. I'm going to see how it's going. But what I can do is I can contact the supplier and tell them that I want to do my own shipping quote, right? Because they're just doing this shipping based on ship to anywhere in the United States, right? So you can definitely get better shipping than these rates right here. There's no reason that we need to pay $693 for shipping. So when you use this ready to ship setting, note that you should always reach out to the supplier and arrange for your own shipping. You can always also reach out to the supplier and ask if they'll package it a certain way for you. So they might be able to, just put your sticker, like you might be able to send them your logo or something, and they might be able to put your sticker on it. But this is a great way to get started with white labeling products. Just find something on Alibaba ready to ship. The other thing that I do sometimes is AliExpress. If you go to AliExpress and let's look for the same thing, desk organizer, right? Let's look for that same type of thing. And you can see here on AliExpress, there is many different things that we can try out. And what's cool about these is they're all shipped to the US for free, or for like 99 cents, or for like $2, because of the US e-packet service. So you could get these shipped actually pretty cheap, right? So this cactus one looks pretty cool, right? So we could do something like that. And again, you could sell something like this as a kids organizer. There's many different ways you can sell it. And then you can look on Amazon and see if there's an opportunity for that particular product. So AliExpress is another really great place where you can also reach out to the supplier and you can ask them, hey, if I buy 20 of these for you, can we work out a really great deal? And then you can, if it goes really well, let's say you sell 20 of them and you sell right through them and you're like, oh, wow, I really want to work with this supplier. You can reach back out to them and say, hey, I would really like to make a bigger order from you. Can we do a custom quote for that, right? So lots of really cool ideas and ways to get started. with existing products where you might find something very cool that isn't on the market yet, where you could test it out and just send it in and see what happens. And you don't have to spend so much money. You can test out 10 of them. You can test out 100 of them. And that's what Andy and I teach in this little sourcing small masterclass. We teach you how to source small like this, but then we also teach you, you know, how to package it and label it and what brand name to use and all of that kind of stuff. So the other thing, there's a lot of other things that you can use. You can use like DHgate. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of DHgate. DHgate is another like wholesaler website. So you can find things here. I'll give you an example. I had these cat toys that were really, really saturated. And so at Christmas time, I couldn't sell them on Amazon. There was just too many competitors. So I recalled the inventory, and at Christmas time, I ordered a bunch of stockings, burlap stockings from DHgate, and I ironed on a cool cat design on them. And
cool.
Yeah, and I just stuffed the cat toys inside. I created a listing, and I sold out of my cat toys. So
oh my gosh,
there's a lot of cool ways to get started. You know, I mean, you never know what you might find that would be a good opportunity for you, and you don't always have to develop a product. Sometimes it's just about, you know, finding cool things and putting them out there. And sometimes it's about finding cool things and offering them to a new audience. The biggest thing that people do sometimes that is a mistake is they will, and I'll stop sharing here. Let me stop screen share there. Yeah, the biggest thing people do sometimes that's a mistake is they will, for example, felt letter boards were really, really popular for a little while. That was like one of those products that was like featured on Jungle Scout. Well, everybody sold it as a felt letter board. And so you're spending way too much on advertising. You're spending way too much on your keywords because there's 100 of them that are felt letter boards. So I had somebody come to me for a listing optimization, and I told them, I said, you're not gonna, it doesn't matter how good I rate this listing, you're still gonna be fighting for page 1 if we leave it under felt letter board. So I rewrote his listing as an office sign. He sold out. Yeah. So sometimes if you take a common product that's popular, that looks nice, and you think of a new use for it, you can write the listing, you can call it something else. And, you know, like we saw those desk organizers, well, maybe that would make a really cool makeup organizer for your teenager. You know, like you never know, it might fit in your niche in a really cool way. And so you can take existing products and just offer them to a new market and make a little money.
Great tip. Mario's asking, can you elaborate on how to negotiate the shipping?
Good question, Mario. So you definitely will want to have some type of shipping provider to work with, right? You can ask the supplier. When you reach out to the supplier, the easiest thing to do is reach out to the supplier and ask them for a shipping quote separate from the one that's showing up on Alibaba, right? They're going to be able to give you a better shipping quote. That's just an estimate, right? So it's not very accurate. So the first step is to reach out to that supplier, contact them on Alibaba and say, hey, I'm interested in this product. I'd like to buy 100 of them, but I would like a shipping quote for them. And then see what they say. And if they don't give you a good shipping quote, you can always use your own provider. So you can get a quote from DHL. You can get a quote if you have your own freight forwarder. You can utilize them. There's also, what is it called? There's like right now, unfortunately, air freight is not a good option because of COVID. Like customs is held up with air freight, but there is some faster. I think it's like called like UPS Express or something like that, but you can even buy shipping on like Alibaba, and it's like consolidated with other people's shipments, and you can get it pretty fast that way. But yeah, just look into different shipping options. I don't know why all of the like words for shipping are like escaping me right now.
That's okay. No, that's very helpful.
Yeah, so FreightOS is another. You could always go on like the FreightOS website and ask them for a quote. You know, if it's a very small package, usually the supplier themselves can get you a really nice quote. Yeah, I very rarely take the quote directly from Alibaba without reaching out to the supplier. I'll reach out to the supplier and I'll ask them, first of all, what kind of packaging is this in? I'll ask them to send me pictures, and that way I can kind of prepare my launch for that product. And then, I'll ask them, is there any options? Like, can I send you a sticker to put on there or anything like that? Is there any extra labeling options? And then, of course, I'll ask them after that, okay, well, can you provide me a custom shipping quote to this address?
Great. Mario saying thank you. Dwayne saying that's really cool. What do you guys think? Any questions? Is this easier than you thought it would be? Harder? I like how there's like ways to like dip in, just do like a little starter thing instead of like having to order thousands at a time.
Yeah, it's all about confidence, right? It's all about confidence. Like, there's no reason that you should be sweating bullets and worrying so much about making your first, when I first started, I would order like 500 units of something, and now I just ordered a 20-foot container. I'm about to order this week a 40-foot container. That's a semi truck full of product. And now I do that with confidence because I've been selling these products for a while. And so it's okay, but that's why my focus is all about confidence, So I do have newer people in my mastermind group who are just like, Amy, I'm not there. I'm not ready. Like, I have this product idea and it's cool, but I'm not ready. And I'm like, okay, well, how could we do a play on that product idea and source it small and build up your confidence a little bit, help you to learn the process. And then you start getting some customer feedback, and you're like, wow, that wasn't so bad. I did it. I learned a lot. And now I have that confidence to go ahead and move forward with this full on, like, maybe I'm going to differentiate a product. Maybe so they have the skills to do that when they're ready. But I don't just say, like, when you come in my mastermind group, I'm not just like, oh yeah, the only thing you should do is invent something and that's the only way to go. I want you to have a business where you're making money. I want you to make money. I want you to actually be able to fulfill your dream. 80% of the people that I talk to on coaching calls that come from other programs are not making any money. They're paying Amazon to sell their products, basically. And the worst part is, Helen, that most of them don't even know they're not making any money until we run their numbers. And that is scary stuff. That is not the position we want to be in. And in the beginning, I get it. We've got to invest. We've got to get our inventory going. That's part of the game in retail when you have inventory. But you should be making some money after that. It's not a charity. So, we definitely work on those things together. And it's okay to start small. And Dwayne is wondering, can I advertise products from AliExpress on my Shopify store? Yes, Dwayne, there's a plugin called Oberlo, and you can basically drop ship on your Shopify store. However, something for you to know if you're going to drop ship. What I would highly recommend is that you actually order one of those products yourself first and test it out, because a lot of the products are not what they seem. Like, I ordered one of these like cat treat dispensers that I was like, man, if this works out, I'll put it on Amazon. It looks cool, I ordered one and the treats wouldn't even fit inside of it. Like, there was no way to get it open. The pictures on AliExpress made it look so cool, and then I got it and I was like, what kind of cat is this? Is this for like a mouse? Like, what is this? It was terrible. So, always, if you're going to drop ship, always check the products yourself first, and then you can make cool videos and stuff like that. But check it first, and then you can go back to that supplier, list it on your website, and go from there. You can list it with confidence because you've tried it out yourself. So that's my advice there. Do you get dinged by Amazon if your product starts to sell well and then you run out of inventory? Okay, you don't get dinged per se. I mean, I've run out of stock a couple of times on products. I'm out of stock on one of my best sellers right now, and it's driving me crazy because my husband, who does our inventory, I was bugging him for like several months. I'm like, hey, I'm switching suppliers, so I need like a 90-day window, and we were out of stock. And I was like, what? That's insane, So we still have another color, but it's it's not as good of a seller. But yeah, we're out of stock right now of that product. So you lose rank during that time, but then once you send new stock in, you gain your rank back. There's things you can do. I call it like a mini little relaunch, where you can just you can give your listing like a little refresh, and it'll force it to kind of re-index, and you'll get like a little mini honeymoon period from Amazon again. And then you can just run PPC. I run external traffic as well. I do Google ads and some other stuff. A lot of Amazon sellers don't do external traffic, but I do because it's money. Yeah, so I wouldn't worry about, this is a long game. I wouldn't worry about like if you run out of stock. I mean, we all want to run out of stock, right? That means we sold out and we get to play again. So, it's okay if you run out of stock.
And I think that's part of what you work on is just everyone's confidence, because things like that, like I do the same thing where I think of like all these things that could go wrong and I focus on that instead of focusing on like, oh my gosh, if you run out of stock, that means you sold everything. That means you picked a good product, and like, just you'll figure it out, like one step at a time, and it'll come together. And
and I think like the biggest thing too is that as you learn, you're going to, if you can learn how to study the market instead of doing this product research thing. Mario says he loves the idea of taking a product and marketing it to a new market. Well, that's what market research is all about, Mario. It's about finding out, okay, what kind of things do kids who like crafts like, and how can we look for either existing or new products to meet that need, right? And then we start looking, oh, well, these desk organizers would work really great for that, right?
Yeah.
I'm developing.
This goes right along with, we do the same thing with print on demand too. That's why it's like there's so much overlap. It's sometimes nice to talk to someone in a slightly different industry, because you learn and you can apply it to print on demand, or you can add it. But this idea of finding something that was for one niche and then applying it to a different niche, we do that all the time in print on demand, where it's like, there'll be a saying that is really catchy and is selling really well, but if you change one word and have it go to a different niche, or if you change like the picture slightly, or you take the same like colors or idea of it but apply it somewhere else, all of a sudden now it's doing well, but it's marketed to a slightly different group and less competition. So that idea is really important, of taking something that's doing well in one area and having less competition because you bring it over to a different area.
Yes, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but it is good to just have that skill and be able to pivot as you need to. Just be innovative and creative, just like you print on demanders are.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's awesome. And I think Mario had one more question. He says, Amy, do you sell both on Amazon and your own websites? If your own websites, are you a Shopify fan or make your own sites from scratch? Okay, this is a great question, Mario. Man, your audience is amazing.
I know
all the hard things, but it's actually not. So I do sell on my own websites. I actually own 4 companies. So I have Amazing at Home. I own RebateJet. I'm a part owner of RebateJet.com. I also have my private label brand. So I have 2 websites under that. I have AmyWeist.com. So I have 7 WordPress websites that I manage on a regular basis. And so I wouldn't say that I build them from scratch. I started on Shopify and I hated it. I felt like, number one, for SEO purposes, I'm a total search engine optimization SEO nerd. And for SEO purposes, Shopify is terrible. It's not very, I can't come up with, what I love about WordPress is if I want to do a course tomorrow on my website, there's a plugin for that. I couldn't do that on Shopify, right?
Yeah.
If I want to do a digital product, and I want to have a different type of checkout process, or I want to have them fill out a form on my page that takes them to another page, I can't do that on Shopify. And Shopify is so expensive too. It's like, you're paying like almost as much as you're paying in Amazon fees, and then you're getting upcharged for every plugin. And on WordPress, I pay $60 a year for all of my websites to be hosted. $60 a year, that's it. People on Shopify are paying like $40 a month. That's insane to me. So for me, I'm a big WordPress fan because I love the SEO. I love writing. I love content. And so I'm a big fan of WordPress, and that's how I do it. But as I mentioned, it's all about confidence. So if you need to do Shopify because it's easy for you to manage and it lets you sell, then you need to do Shopify. And I'm not mad at you if you're easily paying off those Shopify fees by selling a couple shirts every month. That's fine, I think you have to do you, And so I love WordPress because of the SEO aspect, but you do you, boo-boo.
I love that what you're talking about digital products too, because I'm telling you, everything goes together. So a lot of people in the group do digital products, and we're going through that in my mastermind group too. We're talking about printables and digital products. It all goes together. It really does. Once you learn print on demand, you can put it just like what you said, give people digital downloads or sell digital downloads or so many different things. They all work together.
Yes, definitely. Well, awesome. It was great to be here tonight. Hopefully I gave you guys some confidence for private label. And if you guys are wanting to dabble, you can always, I think that Helen has a link for you.
Yes.
But it's just at Amazing at Home. We have a mastermind group and we're only $49 a month. And we just cover all of these fun things. So we kind of take you from concept, coming up with ideas, how to come up with ideas, all the way to launch. Like, how do I, we go live twice a week and we have, a lot of classes and stuff like that. So it's a great way to learn about private label. And then also the other labels, the other things that you could do and build up some confidence and learn some extra things. And it's definitely something you could combine with with merch. That's very easy to do. And I think you guys bring a lot to the table.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Amy. And thank you, everybody who's watching. Really appreciate it. And yes, the link is in the description on Facebook and on YouTube. So
very good. Well, thank you for having me, Helen. And thanks, everybody, for being here and asking all these great questions.
All right. Well, thanks so much. Well, I'm sure we'll have you on again sometime. I always love talking to you.
Yeah, I would love, we need to have you in the mastermind group as well, Helen, so that you can talk more about, because some of our folks are interested in learning more about print on demand as well, just for confidence.
So yep, absolutely. All right. Well, thanks, Amy. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.